So it's not just about money and fame. In fact, sometimes those things do not lead to happiness. But then you've got happiness. What is happiness? Is it an emotion? Is it a feeling? Is it a state of mind? Well, we all know what happiness is, but how do we really get to grips with it? And I spend a whole chapter in my book talking about what is happiness, because this was a question that some of my friends said. We sort of know what happiness is, but what do you think happiness is?
Welcome to Inspired Choice today. I'm your host, Caroline Biesalski, here to bring you authentic stories, surprising lessons, and powerful takeaways to fuel your journey in business and life. In each episode, I'll take you from one inspiring guest to the next, blending their experiences with my expertise to uncover practical strategies you can use right away. Whether you're starting out or stepping up, stay tuned for insights and actionable tips that make a difference. And stick around until the end for a special freebie just for our listeners. Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline and my today's guest is Carl Barney. And I'm so happy that he said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
Life is good, Caroline. I'm very well, thank you.
It is. Thank you so much for being here. And I would like to introduce you to the audience, of course. You are an educational entrepreneur and philanthropist. You unveil the happiness experiment. It is the transformative guide blending timeless wisdom with practical strategies for a flourishing life. You were inspired by Aristotle and Ayn Rand. I don't know how you pronounce this name, but I know this
You
author.
got it right, Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand, yes.
Yeah,
And you
Ein,
share
as in mine.
Ayn.
Yes.
Okay, but I love I read the book. Okay, we can talk about this later, of course. And you share the principles that have shaped your success, inviting readers to embark on their own journey to lasting happiness and fulfillment. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Carl Barney.
I'm inspired.
Me too. My first question is, your book is called The Happiness Experiment. What was the single most eye-opening discovery you made about happiness through your own journey?
Well, while this is about my own journey, it's really about the journey of 20 of my friends, not just my own journey. Many books about this is how I achieved increased happiness. But this is a book about getting 20 people who were in my will, and they had a bequest in my will. They were going to get a lot of money when I died. And because I almost died in a plane crash, I thought, well, I'm not going to wait until I die because that's not much fun, no fun at all. So I thought, well, what if I brought it forward and gave them the bequest now, which is what I did, but with the request that they create a happiness plan. So they use the money for the best purposes for themselves, and they spend it on themselves, and they spend it on increasing their happiness. And so they created a happiness plan and they did it. And so the book is a recording of what they did, how they developed their happiness plans, and what they did, and what happened in their lives. And so it's about real people doing real things, pursuing happiness.
Wow, you are a real people too, I think, because I asked about your journey and it is even more. In the book, there are 20 people, as far as I understood. And then you talked about the happiness plan they created. And this is really amazing because we all know how to create plans for, I don't know, accumulating money or something. And you you turned it into a happiness plan. How inspiring is this?
Well, it was inspiring because when I sat down with my friends and I said, "Look, I'm not going to wait. I want you to have this now. I'm very grateful for your friendship. I'm grateful for all the things that you've done for me, and I want to express this gratitude by bringing your bequest, the money that you have in my will, I'm going to bring it to you now and make it a happiness grant. It's a grant for your happiness. And I said, I want you to create a happiness plan. And what they said, Caroline, was a happiness plan. What's that? I've never heard of that. And so it's a shame because probably the most important plan we have ever is the happiness plan. And so what I did, which was good, I gave them some reading material, but then what I did, I found them a coach, a happiness coach. So the happiness coach helped them develop the happiness plan. And then the coach followed up with them and said, how's the plan coming along? And so they had a plan, they had a direction, and they had a coach that then helped them along the way. So everybody ought to have a happiness plan, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. So we all have our goals in mind, what we want to achieve. And most of the time, these are material things, right? And you come up with the whole new perspective on life, on happiness, and a happiness plan. It sounds contradictory to me. Can you plan this? But let me take a look at my next happy question, maybe, because yeah, so many people chase success thinking it will bring happiness. How do you redefine happiness beyond achievements and external validation?
Well, the question of what is happiness, what is success, it's sort of obvious, but very difficult also. People sort of know what success is and they sort of know what happiness is. But when you get into success, for instance, what do people say? Well, I want to be rich and famous. That's not what it's all about. You can be successful in so many different ways. You can be successful as a human being. I feel good about myself. I have self-esteem. That's a tremendous success. And you can be success in business when you're achieving things. You can be a successful coach. You can be a successful mother or a successful father. You can have successful friends, have successful friendships. So success is in a lot of places, in your home, in yourself. So it's not just about money and fame. In fact, sometimes those things do not lead to happiness. But then you've got happiness. What is happiness? Is it an emotion? Is it a feeling? Is it a state of mind? Well, we all know what happiness is, but how do we really get to grips with it? And I spend a whole chapter in my book talking about what is happiness, because this was a question that some of my friends says, we sort of know what happiness is, but what do you think happiness is? Give us some, let's talk about it. So there's a long explanation in my book about how it's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's an idea, it's a mindset, it's a lot of things. And but basically it's a successful state of life. You're feeling good about things. You have things working in your life. And then we're happier. And this is the other thing, Carolyn, there is no limit to happiness. It's an inspiration that can last your entire life.
An inspiration that can, what was it? Your entire life? Wow,
It's
you
an
have it.
inspiration, yes. Yeah, that can last your entire life. I want more. I want more happiness. I can be more. There's more joy. There's more differences. There's lots of things in life.
So true. I was thinking about the definition of success by Earl Nightingale. I think it is success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And when happiness is your worthy ideal, as you said, like being a successful human or, or mother or father or entrepreneur, whatever we choose, right?
Yes, exactly. Success basically is what we choose, the goals we choose, the life we choose, and then making it work and making it successful. And that's the other thing about success is there's always more success. You can't say, well, I'm successful now. Okay, it's over. I don't want any more success. You can never say, well, I'm happy enough, I'm going to do it. You can say, I'm successful and I enjoy it and I love it, but what's next? There's more. And I think that the word inspired is a really inspiring word, because I mean, if you think about it, that's sort of like a a uh, a beacon, uh, something, an ideal, something splendid. that you can look forward to. I love that. I love your inspired name.
Oh, thank you so much. It developed. And in the first 300 episodes, I had the same 5 questions for all of my guests. And it was like, what inspires you and who inspires you? Because I did not know the answers for myself. And I started the podcast to receive those answers. Now we are talking about happiness. And yeah, inspired. Some people say it's the breath of God as well, breathing existence into us. I like this very much as well. And happiness is how we define happiness, what makes us happy, and to get to choose every single day, of course. And I have another question for you. If someone listening today feels stuck or unfulfilled, what is one experiment they can start right now to create a real shift in their life?
Well, that's a big question. Big question. I think first off, it has to depend on the individual. There's not one answer for everyone. Or maybe there is an answer for everyone. There's one basic answer, and that is to think about, contemplate, reflect. But you can't do that alone, Caroline. As you well know, as a coach, people need someone to talk to. They need a friend, a family member, coach, a therapist, and that's what I would think. If somebody has that now, if they don't have, well, hopefully they have friends or family. That would be good. If they don't, it would be a good idea to start there, maybe, creating friends and because, but talk to a journal, talk to a coach, talk to a therapist, and do the reflection upon your own life, and then identify. And this is not a quick fix. Not a quick fix. Think deeply about what you love, what means something to you, where your life has come from, your current things that you want, the things that you love, the things that you care about, the things that motivate, the things that inspire you. Think about those things and think about them deeply, and then bring them together and put them into a purpose.
You talk about purpose, and you also said start creating friends. What would you say the first step to create friends?
Well, that's interesting. How do we develop friends? And I think what we do is we meet people. There's a spark, there's a recognition, oh, I like the way this person talks. I like the way this person, and then take that step of engaging with them, and then to slowly develop. I'd like to talk to you some more. I remember I was in a courtroom with a judge. And the judge came into the courtroom and he was very friendly. And I said, gee, you're a friendly judge. And he laughed. And then we started to talk about books, for all the things. We started to talk about a book that he loved. And I said, well, I love that book too. It was Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. And so we started talking philosophy. And so I said, gee, I really enjoy speaking with you, Judge, Your Honor. I'd love to have dinner with you. And he said, no, I can't do that because I'm the judge. But then finally, we did get together. We had dinner, and he's been friends now for over 10 years. And we're very close friends. But it's that spark, that's something that you can share right in the beginning, and then have the I'm going to stop using the word inspiration because that's your word, but then you have the intention to pursue it. And I did with this particular man. I admired him. I thought he was a wonderful judge because, he was on my side. That's beside the point. But I enjoyed talking with him. And I said, look, I want to get together with you. So I followed up. And then he finally agreed, and we've become very close friends.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. So one thing stood out. You said set the intention to pursue this, let's say, relationship or friendship that develops. And I was thinking about one book when you said he talked about a book. Maybe it was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Yes,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
That's the
That
book.
would be a good book that would be a good place to start.
And then you talked about intentions and setting, I would say setting goals, but you talked about purpose as well. So do you set goals for yourself or intentions? And what is one of your next projects?
Did you say the next project?
Yes.
Oh, I've got some big projects. Yes, we have intentions. The basic intention is to live. Everybody has that in some level. Some people just, I'm alive, I'm okay. And some people really want to pursue life and have a completely full and enriching life. So we have that basic intention, but then we convert this into, because by using a mind and reflection, we then start to create goals, purposes from cognitively, from our mind, not just from our body. Our body wants to live. This is a basic purpose. But then mentally, we create purposes and goals. And my goal this year is I'd like lots of people to buy my book. It's coming out in June. It's ready for pre-orders. It can be accessed through happinessexperiment.org if anybody wants to be interested in the book. So I want that to be successful as one goal. Then there's somebody approached me about making a movie of the book. So that would be my next goal. And another goal, which is a whole subject for another day, is I'm working on creating an artificial intelligence university using historical figures such as Aristotle and Newton and Einstein as my professors. And they would be delivering the courses.
This is so good. So I'm your first student, okay? When you when you launch your university, I want to be a student by Albert Einstein or the other Aristotle you mentioned, and all the people we cannot meet alive because they are dead, and you can vivify them.
That's right. You can recreate them as avatars, and you can make them alive. You can make them appear very human-like, and they speak as they did when they were with their strong voices. They're very strong people. And what you do is you train them on how to teach. And this is really good. They have to be good teachers, but they know all the books and all the things that they ever wrote. They know everything immediately because that's all in the large language model, as they call that. So all in their big library. And they can access everything and teach everything that they know in an authentic way, in a thoughtful way, not to at the student's level and at the student's pace. And they can be great professors.
And for lunch or dinner, they can meet and have a mastermind, and they can develop their ideas much further.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Wow, so great. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much for our interview. Please reach out to Carl. He's amazing. He shares his wisdom. Check out the website. I put it in the show notes. Of course, there's the book we can pre-order. I will pre-order, of course. I'm so curious now about the happiness experiment, the happiness plan, your definitions. Thank you so much. And now it's time for your final thoughts to the audience, please.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. It's been fun to discuss really important ideas, and I've enjoyed it very much. And what I say that to people is there's always something more. There's always something better. And if you think and talk about it, journal about it, talk with a coach, life can be more successful, and we can increase happiness.
Yes,
Thank you, Caroline.
let's do this. Let's increase happiness in every single second. I'm inspired now. I stay inspired. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Caroline.
And I see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Inspired Choice today. I'm thrilled to have you on this journey of growth and transformation. Don't forget to hit follow or subscribe to stay connected and never miss an episode. And here's something special. Grab your free 20-minute breakthrough session with me. It's designed to help you kickstart or level up your business. Just check out the show notes for more. Until next time, keep making those inspired choices. See you in the next episode.